Hey Lisa.
Evening.
Hiya. Thank you for sending your friend through to me last night.
Oh, yes, yes. She enjoyed it because she's never had one before, you see, so she
Get
wasn't sure
that.
what to expect.
Oh, it was
So,
good.
oh, yeah,
I hope she thought it was good.
yeah. She said a lot of princesses came up.
Yes, lots of rebellious energy.
Yeah, yeah.
That was
She,
cool.
she does love a Disney princess as well. So,
There you go. Hi everyone. Hi Jane. Hi Michelle. Hi Sharon. Just letting some people in. Actually, just gonna pause. Okay, just to formally welcome everyone and say that tonight we're going to do some spiritual development. We'll be doing a little bit more of this over the coming weeks as well. So we have a healing session coming up, and I think I had put in for a past life regression session, didn't I? So that'll be fun and interesting. But we're going to start with just some gentle spiritual development, just see kind of where we go. So when I say spiritual development, we're actually going into messages and stuff today. So spiritual development can mean all kinds of things. It means what we do here all the time. It means our Monday chats. It means thinking about different faiths and prayers and meditation. But in this instance, it means, I guess, going that bit deeper to try to connect ourselves with spirit, guides, gods, goddess, angels, nature, whatever you choose to believe in, and seeing if we as a collective or in our individual states receive any messages for ourselves and for each other. So I appreciate that that might put some of you a little bit outside of your comfort zone. So please don't feel like you have to share anything. And there is always the chat section as well. So if you didn't want to say something out loud or you felt more comfortable typing it down, then there is the chat little box down the bottom. So how we're going to do this is I'm going to take you into a meditation and kind of cleanse you, clear you, and then connect you with guides, angels, spirits, the universe, whatever you feel comes forward for you, at which point I'll probably let you have some time with that space for a few minutes for you to ask any questions, to see what comes up. And then we'll move into asking for a message for another member of our circle, so of the women who are here tonight. And what comes through might be any kind of anything. It could be a color that comes to you, or you might think of one of the other women and have a color, or you might not even, you might just have some imagery come or some kind of picture of something in your mind or a name. You might not even be able to associate it with another person here, but you could just, perhaps when you're sharing it later, say, oh, the name John came to me, or, and if nobody can accept it, we're not podium psychics. That's not what we're aiming to do. We're just aiming to kind of see what happens. And whenever I've done this kind of thing before, things happen, connections are made. And even if it's something quite simplistic, it just allows for you to feel a little bit more magic and a little bit more connected. Which is one of the purposes of the Cosmic Sisterhood, is to kind of get deep within our own spirituality and begin to understand that, and to understand that we don't have to be anything other than ourselves for the universe to communicate with us. So I hope that makes sense. And before we begin, because I appreciate that for some of you, this might be an out of the comfort zone kind of thing, or it might be a bit nerve-wracking. Is there any questions or anything you wanted to raise at all? Oh, what was that beep beep? Oh, I don't know. Anyone? No questions? Well, if you have any going along, just feel free to holler at me or type it in the chat section. It's going to be very nice hopefully. It's nothing scary. We're not talking, we're not summoning the dead. Let's put it that way. We're not getting our Ouija boards out. What we're connecting to is the kind of thing that it's like our intuition, it's our higher self, it's the comfortable spirits that we maybe believe that we have around us anyway, that talk to us and that we recognize within our own perhaps intuition and our understandings. So it's easy and gentle. Kizzy, did you want to say something?
I just saw something pop up for my email. I think is Julia Haig trying to get in.
She did just turn up.
Yeah, I think she asked for the meeting ID. I'm not sure whether I
Okay,
should go back in the.
thank you. Let me just see if I can figure that one.
Up on my email, you see.
I'll just bear with me a second. I'm just copying that, and then is she in the cosmics?
Where is she now? What's the meeting ID? She's in the event. I think she's in the event.
Okay, I'm sending it to her now. Although she was there, so
She did, yeah. I think
I
she
let her in, so I'm not sure what's going on. Hang on. Just reply.
She may need to.
Hopefully she'll be here in a minute. She might be having connection problems. Okay, so I'll just give it a minute and see if she pops in before we begin. So I guess the meditation will be like any of my meditations. I'm gonna kind of channel us into a nice space and open up a portal, I was going to say, but that sounds a little quite hippie. I'm going to open up a portal. Why not? I'm going to open up some dimensions and call in Jesus. Anyway, we're going to see what happens, and we'll open up some space and see what kind of lovely things come our way. And if you feel like at the end, like nothing has come through, that's fine too. It might be that something comes to you over the coming days that you feel like you need to share with the group. Or it might be that you don't have the confidence, because sometimes when I was first doing this kind of work, you'll get something and it seems like it's like nothingness. And you think, oh, I feel absolutely ridiculous saying that. So you just don't say it. Or the other thing is you might feel like you're just making it up. Okay, so because it's coming through you, it's coming through your mind, it's coming through the way you exist within yourself. It feels like your mind is maybe just making up a story. What the reason why it's nice to say that story out loud is because if somebody else can accept it or take it, or it means something to them, that then it makes you realize you're not just making up stories, or you're not just invented it, you've actually been gifted some kind of something for that person or even for yourself. And that's something, it's a hard thing to kind of get used to. I mean, it's what I do with tarot day in and day out is, at first you sort of feel like you're making up stories, but then when everybody who is individually then connecting to each story, and each story is completely different, you begin to realize that you're not making it up, you're connecting to something that's already within you, which is what we're going to do. Hi, Julia, can you hear us?
Hi, sorry I was late. I had issues getting on.
That's all right. Just to summarize very quickly for you, we're going to do a meditation, open up some magic, hopefully connect with some spirits, like friendly, higher self kind of intuition, any kind of angels, guides that you feel you have around you, and see what might come up for us or for other members of the group, and then we'll share that if we feel comfortable to do so at the end. So sorry, that's a very quick version of what I've been saying, but hopefully it'll all be lovely, and we'll have some nice little messages or evidence or something come through. Okay, so to begin, let's get on with it and see where this session goes, because it's all quite fun and experimental, and I've done this with smaller groups before and it's worked well, so we'll see how it works with all of us. So get yourselves nice and comfy. If you want to turn your cameras off, then great, do that. And then just begin with our usual 3 breaths. So hand on heart, eyes closed, in through the nose and out through the mouth. Okay, so just bringing yourself away from your mind, away from any associations you might currently be holding in your head, any thoughts about what you're doing later, tomorrow, next week, and just bringing yourself to this moment and taking a few seconds to really just connect with the fact that this is your space to do something a little bit different, a little bit deeper and unusual this evening, that will have the highest intention of reconnecting you with your spiritual self and the spiritual aspects of you that reside within your body. That's really the purpose here tonight. So, taking any pressure off yourself to perform or to feel like anything specific needs to come from this session, and just being open to receive whatever thoughts, feelings, images, ideas, colors, sounds, names, voices might choose to bless us with their presences. And to begin with, and to sort of get everyone feeling nice and safe, I want you to imagine that you have a beautiful golden cosmic egg of protection all around your body. So you're almost womb-like within this beautiful, bright energy. And this energy will keep you completely safe as you open up psychically and intuitively. This energy will ensure that only the highest and most well-meaning and loving vibrations can enter. So just imagining yourself surrounded by this beautiful orb, this egg of safety. And trusting too that whatever guides, angels, higher self aspects are with you, that they too will protect you against anything lower, anything less, or anything that might affect your mood negatively. So we're completely safe and cozy and able from this space to connect to our own higher wisdom and our own higher self. So just breathing into that for a moment. And whilst you're in this beautiful cosmic egg, you can imagine that the air around you is bright and neon and colorful, perhaps filled with little miniature symbols. So kind of like light symbols, like a light language. You don't have to read it. You don't have to understand it. You're just in its presence. And these little tiny symbols are kind of infiltrating your aura, your body. You can breathe them in. Perhaps you might notice that some of them are a certain color, or some of them are attracted, gathering around parts of your body, maybe around your chakras. So we have our lower chakra at the base of our spine, our yoni chakra sort of in our womb space between our legs as well. Sacral chakra between our ribs, heart chakra in the center of our chest, throat chakra in our throat, third eye chakra in the middle of our forehead, and crown chakra just hovering above the top of our heads. So just imagining and calling on those chakras to open. We're not going to go through them all one by one, because I believe that if we just hold the intention, that they can all open and they can all receive very quickly. So just in your mind thinking, allow my chakras to open, to allow in healing energy, to allow in these light codes, these symbols, these divine aspects of the air, of the energy of nature that were around me, and just allowing this beautiful bright light, this light energy, these codes to just settle on you, in your chakras, in your breath, wherever they feel that they need to be. And as these enter into your being, into your body, into your energy, you begin to feel really at ease, really soothed, in peace with yourself and with the moment and with the task at hand. And trusting that this language, this intuitive language, has been with you your whole life, and that sometimes you do connect to the messages and coincidences and synchronicities that come your way, and other times you don't. But in acting tonight as we are, we're beginning to open a little more to those understandings, intuitions, and synchronicities happening more. And when they do happen more and you acknowledge them, then it's more likely that more will come forward, and you'll begin to stretch and tone your spiritual psychic muscles. So just breathing in all of these beautiful codes. They're bright, they're glittery, they're neon. And they're so pleased to be welcoming. They're just flooding in, hundreds upon thousands of them, bringing with them growth, expansion, knowledge, knowing, and helping to shift away any blocks that you might be holding towards your own psychic intuition. And now the little symbols, little light language is beginning to fade away. And you're taking yourself in your mind's eye with your protective egg of light all around you into a beautiful meadow filled with wildflowers and little bugs and butterflies, a few birds overhead, bright blue skies, a few fluffy white clouds, idyllic and peaceful. And I want you to notice a great big tree. Find yourself drawn to the tree, sitting underneath the tree or laying underneath the tree and kind of looking up through its branches whilst having your back really firmly pressed to the bark of the tree or the ground beneath it. So we're looking up to the skies and sort of beginning to connect with the hugeness of the universe and the possibility of all that is, whilst at the same time feeling really grounded and safe and connected to Mother Earth and to the physical and the material. And just breathing into this beautiful dualistic place, spirits meeting flesh, the psychic phenomena, the light of the universe, the unknown, kind of all around you, as at the same time you're very grounded into the known, into the soil, into the solidity of this tree, feeling really safe. Maybe imagine pressing your hands down into the grass, into the ground, into the tree's bark, whilst raising your eyes up to look up through the tree's branches, up into the atmosphere, and trying to see as far as you can, which is obviously really hard to do, but the further you look, the bluer the sky gets. And it seems like you could just look on forever and ever and ever. Maybe even though the sky is blue and it's daylight, you can see the moon, perhaps even a star or two when you focus and concentrate. So grounded to the earth and starting to spiral your conscious out into the universe. And just breathing into this space, this perfect space between worlds, being part of both, feeling connected to your own intuition. Just relaxing into this. And as you sit feeling safe, feeling cozy, protected, we're going to call on a guide or an angel to step forward, to come join you under the tree and sit with you. And this guide could be perhaps a spiritual being you've worked with if you've done that kind of work before, or it might be someone completely new, it might be somebody you've known in life who has passed, a grandfather or a grandma or someone else. It might just be a pure light being, an angel. It might just be a creature, an animal that seems to turn up with wisdom. Just take a moment to call on a guide, and this guide can come in whichever format it chooses, one that you feel safe with, one that you feel really easy to relate to. So just take a moment, say, I call on my guide, I call on my guide, and just repeat that in your mind until your guide arrives. And as your guide arrives, just relax in their presence, just chill out, it's all good. I'm going to give you a minute or two just to sit with your guide and just see if they have any messages for you, anything to give you, anything to tell you, anything to share. So just do that. Ask them whatever you want and enjoy a couple of minutes with this spiritual being who has come to share something with you. Just taking a moment to really comprehend whatever the guide, your guide has shared with you, just to record it in your memory. If you understand it, then that's wonderful. And if you don't, then perhaps keep it close to your heart so you can examine it later. And then just take a moment now to ask your guide what messages they might have for any of the other members here. And you don't have to know the member by name, and you don't have to have very specific messages. It can just be that something is presented to you, or something comes to your mind's eye, or a few things come to your mind's eye, and it can feel like images, sounds, smells, names, things, objects. I won't put too many ideas into your mind, but just spend a few more minutes connecting with your guide and just allowing whatever kind of imagery, any kind of ideas, allowing them to come into your mind's eye, accept them and hold them. And then we will share them a little later on, but just sitting with your guide now and taking this time to ask them for any kind of messages. And I'll give you a couple of minutes of silence to do that. And then just taking a little bit extra time if you want. You can always ask your guides about what you're seeing, to ask for more detail. Maybe try and expand anything that you can see. Perhaps act in your mind like you're stepping back to see a fuller picture, or to ask for names, places, words. And allow them to come if they do, and just accept the first ones that do. Taking a nice deep breath and now asking your guide to finish with that now, and that's fine. If you got information, wonderful, and if you didn't, that's fine too. It might be that you did and you didn't quite realize it. We'll work with that in a moment. So just imagining how that your guide is departing and you're thanking them, bringing yourself back to the tree, to the ground, particularly bringing your eyes down to the ground in your mind's eye, maybe looking at a little ant scuttling around on the floor, touching the grass, touching the ground, digging your hands into the earth, and imagining being in your beautiful golden egg. And all of your chakras are kind of closing up now as much as they need to, trusting that they have their own intelligence. But we're not going to stay open to spirit. We're going to close them down as much as is necessary. You might imagine a beautiful rainfall just falling down over your body, closing you down, closing down any connection to spirit. And when you are ready, you just bring yourself back to your body, having a touch of your body, having a stretch, having a kind of yawn, opening your eyes, having a look around, reassociating with your space. And one thing some of you might want to do is grab a pen and paper and make some notes. And otherwise, just hold in your mind whatever has come forward. You might want to write down a few random words, hopefully. I'll give you a minute to do that. You might find as well that when you're writing things down that it might just naturally expand a little bit. And that's okay too. And I would just say write anything down, even if it's like something's like a word, just anything, just write it down, and then we'll have a chat. Okay, so I think some of you are still writing, but for everyone else, how did people find that? Just in general, without having to give any information yet. Kizzy,
I often find that quite difficult. I'm very good at, I sort of find the beginning bit quite easy and like that when we're going to somewhere nice. And as soon as someone says, and now your guides turn up, I'm like, okay, where are they? And I'm like, yep, no one here, just me again.
Yeah.
But I kind of have learned over time, I sort of try not to get too frustrated about it, and kind of just wait and get through that sort of my instinct to kind of question everything, you know.
I have the exact same thing, if that makes you feel any better. I like literally,
Yeah.
and I feel like I have to engage my imagination a little bit with it.
Yeah.
But then I think that's part of it. And
Yes.
actually the imagination is part of our psychic and intuitive experience. It's just
Yes, that's exactly what someone else said to me, which I found so helpful. And because I thought, oh no, but I can't imagine things. And they said, no, exactly what you said, Alice. Use your imagination. It is a part of how your intuition. It's like a tool to access stuff. So,
and I think for so long people get told that, oh, it's just your imagination, like that's a bad thing. And actually our imagination is that part of that same toolkit, really. So yeah, and then I think you'll find if you relax into it with a bit of imagination, then other stuff does start coming forward that you didn't expect. Even if it's just a flash of something, you know.
Yeah, and I find that does happen. If I don't get hung up on the fact that there's no magnificent angel standing before me or whatever, then, and just forget about that, then it does kind of little things trickle in.
Yeah. Good. Anyone else got any just general thoughts on that, Kizzy?
You know what? I think I found it a little bit hard to relax, only because there's people kind of hovering around near the kitchen door at times, and yeah, it's just kind of distracting, you know. But I did actually really relax, turn the light down and sat back, and did start to get stuff, kind of pictures in my mind. So we can talk about that whenever you're ready to open up, because again, I'm just sitting here thinking, is that all my imagination? But it's random. Very
We'll see,
random.
I guess we'll see. Should we do you want me to go first, guys? Should I didn't do the meditation because obviously I was doing the meditation. So I probably didn't go in as deep as you, and I'm nervous to tell you what I had, because I didn't have a lot because I was doing the meditation, but I did go in and ask, when you guys were asking for messages for other people, I went and did the same thing for a minute or so just to see what came through. And so that's why I'm just going to keep blathering on to avoid saying what they were, because it's nerve-wracking. So you're not the only ones who might feel a bit weird about this. And it's not how I usually work, but I do like doing it every so often. So I had a few things come through. The first thing was, nearly as soon as I closed my eyes, I just saw a white and blue plate full of big fat red tomatoes, like sliced. Does that mean anything to anyone? Like big chunky tomatoes on like a blue and white plate. No. Okay, that's fine. Then I saw an edge of a snowflake. It was like, you know how has anyone seen the movie Frozen? I'm sure some of you will have seen that. And like the kind of big snowflakes that come through. I saw a corner of one of those. Then it felt like the energy of a lady. Well, first of all, the word cathedral came to mind. And then straight on the back of, I kind of accepted that word because that word came through, and I thought, oh, I'm just making that up, like you, Sharon. But as soon as I thought I accept the word cathedral, I then had a short lady with thick glasses, short hair, thick short hair, with like a really smiley face, really smiley, really pink cheeks, kind of pink skin, maybe like just a pink looking lady in general, really, really smiley, who was quite short, that I felt like I was looking down on. And I felt like she was showing me her gravy boat. So I don't know if anyone can take any of that. And I got the name Lindsay. So whether it was related to her or not, I don't know. But if anybody knows a short lady, or maybe it could have been someone who passed, or it could just be a passing spirit. I don't know. But she had a very particular face, and I can see her vividly in my mind's eye now. Very sort of chubby, kind of cute, and like she was a lot smaller than everyone else, so most people would be looking down on her, so she'd be looking up. Yeah. Anyone get anything from any of that?
Maybe it was just someone passing through, someone unconnected maybe, or something. Yeah, someone just wanted to connect, and
Yeah,
I can
she was
picture them.
very strong. She was like really, I feel like I can still see it. Close my eyes, she'd still be there. But yeah, she's really smiley though. Anyway, so that's me. But like I say, I didn't do the meditation with you guys, so I didn't go in as deep. So does anybody feel brave, want to volunteer? Oh,
I will.
who said that?
Me,
so
Liz.
right.
Oh, everyone's talking. Was that Liz?
Yeah.
Okay.
I saw you, Alice, like
Aw.
smiling and doing your tarot and like putting all these cards like just out like that, just for a moment.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
I'll hopefully be doing more of that going forward. So
Yeah.
lots more of that. So that's really lovely. Thank you. Anyone else?
I got some random things.
Oh, sorry. Is that Lisa?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't like Sharon thinking, as soon as you said, some guys, I was like, but up before you said that, then randomly the name Edgar popped into my head. I don't know why. And then I could see like a high back, quite kind of ornate, but quite old fashioned and high backed, I think, dining chair that was straight across the top with a sort of not cut out, but a solid half circle also on the top. And I think there was like a pad in the middle that I think was like a mustardy, yellowy velvet colour. Quite enough, like a dining room chair, but quite an old-fashioned high-backed one. And then a badger. I don't know where that came from.
Badger.
Yeah.
My son's middle name is Edgar, and his great granddad's called Edgar, and his other great granddad was called Edgar. It's a family name. And my husband's got a taxidermy badger's head in his office.
Well, come on. Yeah.
That's a bit weird, isn't it?
There we go. Finally, something. Mine were all rubbish, but yours were good, Lisa. And Edgar's not a usual name these
No,
days.
I know. It just popped straight into. I didn't really see anybody.
That's all right.
I was like Edgar. I was like, oh, that's a bit random, not like John, like you said before. And I've had a John come through when I've done meditation, like the name. So yeah.
There's always a John floating around in the spiritual churches and whatnot. But anyway.
Okay, all right.
Well, I think that sounds like Liz can definitely sort of take quite a bit of that. And,
Yeah.
you know, the badger thing as well.
It sounds like the chairs in my mum's house, like wood. Like we've got some of those kind of wooded, dark wood with sort of jacquardy cushions, maybe, I don't know. But Edgar's my eldest son's middle name.
Wow. Okay.
And when we named him, we chose it because we liked it, and then we found out it was a family name and on both sides. So yeah, and we didn't know.
Amazing. Well, looks like you had a little bit of evidence of you know, spirit and psychic connection come through there. Well done. All right, Kizzy, you've got your hand up.
Yeah, thank you. And I kept talking over people. Sorry, I was like, oh, go. Okay, so again, I don't know if this is my imagination, but I was kind of, you know, doing the kind of eyes closed, laying back, and Sharon's face came into my mind, and an older lady with kind of fair curly hair, quite stocky built, and I think she was showing me a picture of what I can only think of as a blonde school child, long blonde hair. And again, I don't know where that came from. Newspapers, crosswords, sitting at a kitchen table, glasses, but didn't always wear them. That just randomly, and I don't know if it's to do with you. The names Mary, Joan, and Peter came at different times. Those names. Daffodils.
Oh my God, you sound like you're talking about my mum. Not, yeah, I don't really know where to start. Yeah, my mum's middle name was Mary, and
Okay.
Janet Mary, and
Because Joan came to my mind, and Mary, those
and
two
her,
names.
yeah, and her favorite flowers are daffodils. And she had, I mean, I remember her with grey hair because she died when she was 56, so she
Okay.
wasn't that old. But there is that sort of that feeling about my mum there, and there's a picture of me with, I had very long blonde hair when I was a child, so it just kind of, it
That's
feels like
weird.
my
Yeah.
mum.
I
And
think
she
it
wore
felt
gloves.
like it was your mum, and
Yeah.
she kind of, when I say fair hair, it would be almost like kind of very pale hair. I can maybe imagine it, not blonde or anything, but pale.
Yeah,
And I don't know whether she had short curly hair,
she
but
did. Yeah, she had short.
that's what I'm seeing.
hair. Yeah.
And I kind of saw a ginger cat, a tabby cat. I don't know whether that's related or not.
Mm.
And yeah, plant pot with yellow flowers as well.
Yeah.
But I was shown at the very end daffodils. And I don't know whether she did crosswords or newspapers featured heavily in this kind
No,
of
she
reading.
didn't. No, she didn't. But I kind of, it's something to really think about because yeah, but lots of it sounds like my mum. Apart from the crosswords.
Yeah, well, it was like, I don't know, I just guessed that was my own assumption, because it was like I saw a rolled up newspaper under her arm and then sitting down at a round kitchen table
Mhm.
with putting glasses on and looking down. So in my mind, I was thinking crosswords, but that might not be.
No, it's really interesting. But daffodils are really significant for us because that was my mum's favorite flower, and she always, would say, "Oh, don't worry about buying me a present. Just buy me a bunch of daffodils." So,
Oh,
yeah,
Aw.
that's lovely. Thank you, Izzy.
No problem. And royal blue, just to throw in there as well. Royal blue came up as a colour.
Wow.
Yeah, so I think that was pretty much it, unless there's a
Wow.
Peter. What, royal blue?
I'm just going to really
Amazing.
think about this because there's lots of things there.
Lots of little details. No, well done, Kizzy.
Yeah.
Just
Thank
came
you,
to
Kitty.
me. Well, yeah, I was hoping that would mean something to you because your face came first and your name, and then straight to this lady. So,
Yeah.
and it was like she was holding up this picture of, but I couldn't see it very well. It was very blurry to me, but I could tell it was almost like maybe a schoolgirl with very long blonde hair, very blonde hair.
Yeah.
I couldn't see the image, if you know what I mean, properly.
Yeah. I'm going to get
Wow.
back to you on that. I've got a thought on that, but I need to think about it.
Definitely. You guys can chat in the chat boxes or wherever. I'm very excited about our new site still and all the different possibility it holds. Okay, anyone
Okay,
else?
lovely.
Thank you,
I had-
Lizzie. Oh,
Sorry.
Sharon.
Sorry, I was just going to say, yes, I was going to say the thing that I did feel from the beginning. I felt I saw a pair of dark glasses and I knew it was Lisa, but I couldn't remember her name. I just saw the glasses and I thought, oh, that's Linda, Liz. But I knew who it was meant to be. And then I just eventually I thought I saw the shape of a I think they're called a tetrahedron. It's one of the platonic solids, if you know what I mean. It's a 3-dimensional shape like a pyramid. And to me, that signifies fire, because sorry to go on about the platonic solids, but it is related to the element of fire. And then imagining a fire inside of that. And I felt it was about sparking your creativity. And that was it really. And I was thinking about that. It was about that creative spark and fire. And then as we're coming to the end, I remembered the cards I pulled earlier this evening. I was just going through the tarot cards and thought, oh, I'll have these ready in case we're going to use them later. And the Queen of Wands popped out. And I just really felt that feeling I had of what I was thinking of about that creative fire and that spark of creative energy was very much like the things that Alice has talking about in this book about the Queen of Wands. It's quite amazing. It's a lovely, I don't know if you've got
Love it when you all
book.
start lifting my book up.
Yeah. I don't know if you've got this book, Lisa. Yeah, well, look, read the Queen of Wands because it's pretty wonderful. I won't read it all, but I just felt there was just something there for you about the spark of creativity.
And I'm a fire sign as well.
Oh,
Because he's got hers there as well. I'm gonna go find mine and start flashing them in. Anyway, that's lovely. Definitely. And I'm loving the Queen of Wands link there. I think, yeah, the Queen of Wands is definitely a vibe at the minute. And it's possibly, as Kizzy may know, it's going to be the cover of the next deck of cards that I'm in creation with. So I kind of like that connection coming up. And the Queen of Wands is pretty much my favorite tarot card a lot of the time. I feel like it's my mission to be her. So
you take that, Alice. You take that.
Yeah, but I think for Lisa as well, you've got some creative stuff you need to be doing as well, don't you? That you're kind of working on. Yeah. Okay, thanks, Sharon. That's lovely. And then Michelle has patiently got her hand up. So what do you want to share, Michelle?
Have you got time or?
Yeah, let's just go on. If people need to leave, they can. But, you know, everyone in my house has now gone to bed and I'm like, let's just carry on a bit.
Cool. That was actually, it's just beautiful. Thanks, Alice. It's really, because I channel for other people. So when you're actually kind of going in, somebody else is leading yourself, like, well, someone's leading me. It's really, yeah, because I can be really on really quickly. So, but what I did, I jotted down a few notes here. So I traveled actually went straight inside the tree. The tree just took me straight in. I'm like, hang on, but Alice is saying be outside, but
you go where you need to go. That's very shamanic, actually, going inside the tree. I like that.
And so I then, it was beautiful in there. It's just beautiful. I was just straight away digging into the soil and looking straight up to the poor tree though, because then, you know, obviously it's hollow. I'm like, okay, but very much alive. But I actually, my friend who died back in 2015, she took her own life. She came to visit and sat down in with me. She was like my older sister. She wasn't my older sister, but we were like blood sisters because I grew up with brothers. And but I've actually, she'll show up for me. But we don't ever enter into conversation or interact. She'll just be kind of, she'll turn, she'll wave, and away she goes. She had beautiful, beautiful energy, mother of 5, like my version of an earth mother. Back in the day, I think, oh my gosh, I'd love to be like Heidi, super intelligent. But anyway, so she sat down with me, and because she used to teach me how to bake, she taught me how to put my mascara on, all those sort of things. So that playfulness and that energy came. She sat down, we were both inside this big hollow tree and just sort of playing with each other's hair. My hair was long, so I'm like, oh, good, growing it. And we were just like, I don't know, the energy of way back in the joyful days was there. I guess that's sort of following on from the inner child a meditation I did last night of yours. But anyway, so her message to me was, I have to, and this is going to be interesting, but she said, I've got to give a letter to her daughter. Her daughter's studying medicine in Sydney, and now, so she only just started this year. So I've got to give her a letter, but it was actually a scroll. I've got to hand this scroll to her. So I'm going to have to work out how I do that via absent Reiki, I guess, asking permission and sending it through that way to her. It's not a physical letter.
Right.
But she was just very much that I'm, you know, this whole sisterhood and this feeling of like being with all of you is a really, I'm in the right place, you know. So I received a message before we even went in, and it was, I don't know if this makes any sense. Kizzy's move. Yeah, it was Kizzy. Kizzy, a bike. What has a bike got to do with anything at the moment? And then and I kept sort of just questioning, is that just drops from who knows where? But then I asked Heidi, and she said, tell Kizzy to buy the bike.
Oh, that's funny, isn't it? Well, the only thing I can think of, it's funny because today we were talking about the garden, and my other half said, where should we put the bikes? And I was like, not there, because that's going to look too cluttered. But it is something that we have spoken about before, but I've always waited, because when you've got little kids, you can't really cycle with them, if you know what I mean. But it's something that I would like to do, is to get a bike, and then we've all got a bike, because I'm the only one without one. So
Heidi was very clear, because I'm just like,
oh wow,
like, it's
okay.
my imagination. Am I trying? And that's that whole thing. Psychically, am I making this up, or is this my imagination, or is this a message? And there's a way.
This is a message. Maybe this is something. Yeah.
And she was. It is, buy the bike. Kizzy has to buy the bike.
Okay.
So,
that's interesting, because I haven't thought of it for a while, but I was always thinking, okay, at some point it will be the right time to get myself a bike, so that the whole family has a bike, and then we can go together. If I get over my anxiety of being on the roads with kids and stuff like that. But no, maybe that's what I need to do. Maybe that's something I need to do. So thank you for that. Yeah, I will definitely think about it.
You do the meditation of Alice's, the inner child one?
I did, yes.
So maybe you could revisit that and take yourself back to being with your bike as a child.
Yeah, because I used to love going on my bike as a child, and in fact my stepdad used to take us all out really early in the morning before school and before work to cycle around the park. And it was like, but we loved it, you know. It'd be 6 a.m. cycling around the park, and it was such a nice memory, you know. So yeah, maybe it's something for me to think about. Thank you for that, Michelle.
Me up very early to go for a bike ride.
Don't know about the early mornings at the moment. But yeah, no, but that would be nice. That would be nice. Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
I'm gonna.
And the last thing I just got from Heidi was, because I asked her about my own mum, and because I just had this great vision of the two of them just continuing to party up in heaven or wherever they are. And I said, what's mum up to? And she just said, she's probably doing another jigsaw, which is so mum. So it was really lovely.
Oh, that's really nice. And it's made me all like, oh, I want a bike now. Just it's kind of like, yeah, that's a great idea.
Maybe add, Alice, just with, you know, how you're receiving all those different messages, and just for everyone else who maybe doesn't do a lot of work in this space, is to with all of those things that came through, it doesn't mean it's just happened or it's just about to happen. It might just show up in our lives over the next few days or whatever. So it's about just being, not speaking it out, but just being just open to it and playful with it. And you just never know when Lindsay's going to pop up, or the blue bowl.
The blue, I'm going to repeat on mine. My blue fat smart, it's not blue fat smart, big fat smart is on a blue white plate. my cathedral with a short lady, thick glasses, short hair, sort of chubby, kind of pink, smiley, thick glasses, gravy boat Lindsay. Everybody look out for her in their daily, because she's lovely and she's very smiley. And
One of
I said
my-
about, no.
One of my customers is Cathedral School, so I'm wondering if they will do a repeat order. Maybe that's
Maybe X Cathedral was that was a random thing. And
yeah.
Yeah.
I've got a customer called Cathedral School.
Okay, good. And then I know Jane has put in the chat as well that when I said about the edge of the snowflake, and then I said about it being from Frozen, that you had the words "let it go" come to you, Jane.
Yeah, I had something to do with a blue and white boat and an anchor and the name Karen and Let It Go. But I lost somebody when I was younger called Lindsay, so I don't know if it was one of my best friends to a brain tumour when I was only 11 years old. So I don't know.
Was
I
it,
don't
does
know.
it specifically spell Lynsey? There's different ways to spell Lindsay, isn't there?
Yeah, that's exact spelling. That is the exact spelling.
Because that came in after the sort of pink lady.
Spelling Lindsay, and that's the exact spelling of her name. That is strange.
Yeah, because it's probably the less usual. I don't know. I'm not that familiar with the name Lindsay to know which is the more usual way of spelling it, but I felt like that was less usual.
Mhm.
And the fact that it was spelt to me. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. And then what was I going to say? The blue and white boat and someone called Karen.
Yeah. But it was more
sorry.
an anchor and a boat, blue and white boat, and then anchor came up like an anchor symbol. I don't know.
Okay, well, and my mum's partner is called Karen, and they've just got back from Scotland, and they were on lots of boats.
Is there Troon? Troon came up. Were they at Troon?
They went all over the place. They've been up there for like 6 weeks, I think, doing like a pilgrimage sort of thing. And so they went on a lot of boats over oceans to get to islands. And I'll ask them if any of them were specifically blue and white, or if there was anything to do with an anchor. But yeah, they went all over the show, so they could have done.
Yeah, and Troon somewhere, if you are doing like the NC 500 and stuff, that you would probably go and visit. So that's
yeah, they probably did. And Karen's just had her mum died just before this trip, so it maybe could be why she would come up. So thank you.
You're welcome, my darling.
Okay, anyone? Oh, Michelle.
Sorry, this the one thing that came up right at the end. I completely forgot because I wrote it down the bottom of the page. The word "satisfy." I'm like, what the? That was it, just when I just asked the universe in general any other messages. It was the word "satisfy." So, don't know what I have to do with that this month.
Sounds fun though.
Word that wants to come through this month. So, no pressure.
Well, how often do we actually satisfy ourselves in many respects? It's an interesting word. We probably don't. Like, it could mean all kinds of things, but we don't always satisfy ourselves. We half-heartedly do things, or we.
Or if when you're satisfied, what's that feeling straight after then?
Peace.
Like
Ease.
I don't know, or it's done. I don't know.
Yeah, there is that as well. It's kind of.
I'm gonna look at I was going to say the Latin roots or whatever it is for satisfy. I feel called to need to do that. To do that. So.
Yeah. Okay, so.
Tune satisfaction.
Yeah. But there's lots of little messages that have come through tonight that have kind of people have, picked up on, and some of them quite clear, I think, and for specific people, which is lovely. Julia, did you have anything you wanted to share?
Oh, sadly, I failed again.
No, it's not failing. It's not failing.
No, it's like with the Medusa one. Yeah, I was kind of hoping something might come, and I felt like I planted someone there of like who could it be, who could come, or maybe it could be this person. But then I kind of dismissed it as I've planted that seed and I've made
I
that
don't know,
thought of them be there.
that's that imagination thing. Did you plant the seed, or did the seed get planted into your brain and you feel like you planted it, but it was actually put in your brain by, I don't know, spirit or whatever? That's that, like me and Sharon were talking about before, about imagination, that it sometimes it feels like you're making it up, but then it is weirdly accurate or appropriate. Or, I mean, who was the person?
It was a person who I'd known for quite a long time, who passed away last year. And I was like, you know, if it is her, what would her message be? What would she be saying to me? And it's almost like I imagined what she would be telling me.
What would she be telling you? Was it helpful?
It was just kind of to live your life, because she died quite young, so she was only like early 40s, so quite similar age to myself. And because I'd known her for such a long time, it was like, would she be telling me to live my life to the full, given that I'm still here? Maybe. So,
It sounds like you were analysing the whole thing as you were going along, which is completely normal, I think, especially if you don't do it a lot. But at the same time, you did get a person, whether you imagined it or not, you had their essence, something of their spirit come through, even if you conjured it, and a nice message that's relevant and kind of helpful, you know?
Yeah.
We all kind of could do with remembering that from time to time. So I think sometimes, yeah, maybe work on getting out of analysing it and just trying to go with it. It's hard though. It is hard.
Yeah, I think I was like Sharon, waiting for like something to appear and something to come through, and yeah, I think that was just my expectations of it.
Yeah, and it's weird. It can be all kinds of different ways, and the more you practice, the more easier it becomes, I guess, at not overthinking it. And then when you don't overthink it, then maybe stuff comes a bit easier. Or you could have like random stuff like me and nobody can take it, and it's like, okay, well, we'll just sit with that and, you know, see where that goes, or if any little ladies turn up.
You did cook the tomatoes though at the camping.
Oh, I did cook the tomatoes at the camping, didn't I?
You did?
I forgot about that. Yeah, in big thick slices. What colour were the plates? They were green, I think. But
yeah, I don't think they were blue and white.
They were like melamine kind of, yeah. Oh, yeah, I did cook the tomatoes. All right, there you go. Brilliant. Has anyone else got anything else to share or say, or anything that's sprung to mind that they forgot about? Or
I was just going to say, we're on like the 29th or 30th floor of this building, so I haven't seen any birds up here. And that's why I got my phone out. I don't know if you saw, I was taking a photo. Yeah. There's two rainbow lorikeets that have just flown up onto the, I don't know if you can see them. Can you see them?
Yes.
There. So we're so high up, but these two birds are just sitting there doing their thing.
Oh, are they quite colourful?
Yeah, they're like literally from the back they look green, but all the front is all like purple, red. Is it yellow beak? I can't see. They're both preening themselves because of the rain. Oh,
and there's two of them.
I want to talk to them, but I'm like here.
You know, I saw on the way to school this morning 2 rainbows. So now you've got your 2 rainbow lorikeets. So I don't know. That's nice. Maybe that's another little bit of magic, big connection from one side of the world to the other. Oh, well, fantastic, everyone. I think that was a pretty good job, team. And you know, for many of you, I'm pretty sure that must have been your first time trying to do that kind of thing. And for others, you know, I've done it a few times, and it's hit and miss, and we're not trying to be, like I said before, we're not trying to be sort of psychic platform performers, but it's just nice to witness people who don't do this regularly, people who aren't on a stage performing and closing their eyes and doing a meditation and having some really good evidence come forward, and also some little random bits and some stuff that's kind of fun and possibilities of how we've all sort of connected and got things for each other. It's just a bit of magic. And that's one of the things I want this sisterhood to be, is where we can feel safe to explore these kind of things. And we'll do it again in the future, and probably similar things and other things, and yeah, see where we go with it. But thank you for doing that. Any comments or questions before we close?
Could I tell you just a really quick, I get messages and signs all the time, but, and I often, you know, you have moments where I question it, sort of go, yeah, right, sure, you know, but yesterday morning I woke up, I'd just been dreaming that I was calling my husband Tex-Mex. No freaking, I have really, really lucid dreams, really vivid. And like I woke up and I just said to him, oh my God, in my dream I was calling you Tex-Mex. And so anyway, he's like, okay, yeah, sure, you and your weird dreams. Anyway, I sat down, I got a really strong sort of feeling yesterday of getting myself organized for October and setting my intentions and things. And I thought, okay, I'm going to create my website for my intuitive business. And I jumped on Squarespace, and the first, you know, when it gets you to kind of tick a few filters and things, and then it comes up, and it wasn't the first, it was the second suggested website design was called Tex-Mex. Like the imagery, like the big sort of sign photo on there was Tex-Mex, and I'm like, what the?
Did you use it?
I'm not been on Squarespace for anything. Like I hadn't been to a Mexican restaurant. There was nothing. I was just like, that for me, the message is that I'm, even though I was saying to myself, I'm on holidays, I shouldn't be working, but that was just I'm actually apparently meant to be here doing what I'm doing right now. So.
Did you use the Tex-Mex one?
I didn't know, because then I go, okay, well, maybe I'm meant to use this. And I checked it out. I'm like, no, and then where that whole, is this speaking to my ego, or is this a message? And sometimes that message that we receive can just take it as you are on the right path.
Yeah.
The temptation is always to go into here or go, oh, I want it to be a sign. I'm meant to use that one, you know, but yeah.
Yeah. No, it's just that on the path to the right thing, you'll come across those random words.
Yeah. And it's just the breadcrumbs. And it's when you follow the breadcrumbs, as we know, send you in the right direction.
Absolutely. And there's been a lot of, you know, coincidences and synchronicities, and I'm working with Nikki Cotton, who is doing my next deck of cards, and you know, she's been sat in so many coincidences with the publishers who's going to publish them, like ridiculous coincidence. I don't know if she's told you about this, Kizzy, but like Jo Lal is the publisher who is publishing the cards, but Nikki's daughter is called Lal and her boyfriend is called Joe, and then they have loads of, so like literally that's weird enough, but then
weird things, yeah.
The actual Jo Lal, the publisher, knows all these people who Nikki knows and who's teaching her children, and it's just all these wonderful synchronicities and coincidences cracking off, and bird feathers all over the shop and God knows. But anyway, lots of things to look out for, and people, let's do that as the week goes on and moving on. I think especially at this time of year, you know, well, in our hemisphere, it's getting darker and it's getting kind of, we need a bit of magic to kind of light the way and remind us that we're connected beyond just the sort of dreary weather we have here in the UK, which has cracked in the last few days after having some really hot sunny days, and probably have another one soon. But anyway, it's nice to kind of connect to all this magic and coincidence, synchronicity, kind of intuition, and especially I think because this is a great time for reflection as we move into autumn and winter, and we can reflect on that inner world and where we're going to go next year. which is 2022, which is a magnificent numerological number, in my opinion, like a master number. And as Michelle says, it's okay to ask for the signs. Yes, so ask for these things too. But before this turns into a whole other workshop where I'm talking about signs and nature, and Michelle can join me, and then I'm sure half of you would, and then we're talking about signs, we should probably finish because it's getting late. So let's just take a few breaths just to ground ourselves back down, and kind of bring ourselves back to this reality as we know it. So eyes closed, hands on heart, 3 breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. Maybe just place both of your feet flat on the ground as well, just to really ground your energy. Maybe imagine that little cosmic egg around you as well, just protecting you and continuing to protect you going forward. Okay, guys, just a couple of housekeeping things. I'll be really quick because I know we've overrun. The October Tarot Journey starts next Monday, and I've double booked my times. So next Monday's Monday session is going to be in the day, and I cannot remember what time I put that down for. It might be 10 o'clock in the morning. I think, yeah, 10 o'clock in the morning. So be nice, we'll do it at a different time. And then if anybody wants to join the October Tarot Journey, which, as I said, starts next Monday with a live session, as Cosmic Sister members, you can join that for £65, so it's a bit cheaper. And that will involve emails coming to you every day with your meditations and prompts and journal teachings and stuff like that. So I'm putting all of that together. It's very exciting. And what else was I going to say? I've got a few plans for hopefully getting some different teachers into the space in discussions, and some special guests and stuff like that. And I just want to as well put it out there that with this space that we have and how it is, you guys are also welcome to create your own groups and circles and events within this space. If they're like not paid events, but if you wanted to host an event of your own, like Michelle has put on there about her Zoom tea and chat with a doula, if you wanted to have your own little groups of your specialities and invite the members to those, then you are very welcome to do that kind of thing. You know, or start conversations or create your own little whatever's within the space. That is all very cool. If there's something that you want to explore that isn't on there, then either ask me to put it on there or put it on yourself. Okay, and otherwise I will see you next Monday at 10. I hope people can make it. Okay. All right.
I
good
can't
night.
make it. I'm running a training course, but I do watch them after, just so you know.
Oh
that
yeah, I
you've
might do
got-
it as I thought, because I recorded that one on Monday. I don't normally record the Mondays, but it was only 18 minutes, and the little meditation, I thought if I do a little meditation, I might just record that little bit and put that on. All
Yeah.
right.
Bye.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Yeah, bye bye.